Time to welcome our next guest on Inside Manchester United, Chris Blackhurst, the former editor of The Independent, who authored the book The World's Biggest Cash Machine, an in-depth look at Manchester United's financial clout. Nice to see you, Chris. Right, the breaking news this evening, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has said amorim gets 3 more years. Do we believe him?
Look, I don't know. I mean, it's all about results, and the results affect the financial performance. I mean, basically, if you're a winning team, people want to back you. People want to wear the kids want to wear the shirt. Sponsors want to come. If they carry on losing, carry on being mid-table, not being in the Champions League, they're not getting as many matches. The broadcast revenues are down. The latest figures show that.
But we're hearing all these record revenues. What's that then?
On the commercial side, they're long-term deals that were already signed. But if they carry on in this pattern where they are now, it doesn't get any better, then, look, very simply, they're not on TV as much. And therefore, do you really want to sponsor them?
Have things got better or worse under Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos?
That's a good question. I mean, Jim Ratcliffe has put them on a much better financial footing. He's taken out costs, some of the costs, but the costs, some of those costs are really quite minor in the context of things. Arguably, they've got worse because that broadcasting revenue is a key figure. They're not in the Champions League. They have to. Manchester United have to be in the Champions League. That's where they belong. And if they're not there, it's worse. So therefore, it's worse.
Kaveh, we were told they were going to go bust just before Christmas if they weren't careful. Then they splashed £200 million on players. What are we supposed to believe?
Well, I mean, look, if you look at Manchester United's latest accounts, their revenue was a record £667 million. That means they have the 4th highest revenue in world football. The only clubs who bring in more money than them are Real Madrid, Manchester City and PSG. And when it comes to transfers, you mentioned the figure £200 million. That is not £200 million that Manchester United put down on the table. Those transfer fees are paid in instalments. And also, Manchester United, like nearly every single club, have a transfer debt. And according to their accounts, their transfer debt is £447 million.
Will the Glazers look at what's going on at Manchester United and go, do you know what, we need to take control of football again?
I'm not sure if they want control of the football because the Glazers are back in. They're away from all this now. I mean, actually, they're almost forgotten. It's all about Jim Ratcliffe, and that's quite clever by them. And he's taking all the PR flack, all the hassle, everything. It's all Jim Ratcliffe. But on the other hand, if they think their investment is falling in value and the shares haven't been great, they're going to say, look, we need to knock this on the head and we need to knock it now. And actually, you know, regardless of what Jim Ratcliffe says, the Glazers control the club, not Jim Ratcliffe.
Interestingly, what Jim Ratcliffe said in the interview with the Times podcast, he was asked about his relationship with the Glazers. And he said, look, I know they get a bad reputation, but I think they're very nice people. They're very passionate about Manchester United. And he said the way their relationship works is that Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are on the ground. They are local in Manchester. They are hands-on the way they run the club. And the Glazers simply are not able to do that because they're based in the United States.
Yeah. But the other reason the Glazers always gave towards the end for not going to Old Trafford, not going to games, and that really upset the fans, more than anything, actually. I mean, you want your owner to be there. You want to see them. You want to share their beliefs. You want to see them sharing in your passion. And the Glazers never did that. And of course, one of the reasons they gave was they were worried about their safety. Well, I don't think that's changed.
Chris, is there any way you could see Ratcliffe walking away from Manchester United?
Well, he's got problems. Look, Jim Ratcliffe's a very, very successful businessman, probably one of the most successful there's ever been in Britain, no question. But Ineos, his main chemicals business, that's not doing well. His investments in sport, none of his sports investments have worked. Cycling, the rugby, the America's Cup, Tottenham. I mean, none of these things have paid off. Formula One, none of it's worked. So yes, I can. I mean, if he gets a lot of personal abuse, and he has said, he gave that warning And there was a warning not that long ago saying, you know, if I get much more personal abuse, I may walk away. He can walk away.
OK, so what would it look like if the Qataris had been in charge?
I think the debt would have gone. They would have had money. I think it would look more like a club that's structured a bit like PSG or City. Their money would have come in. I've no doubt as well that they would have got a superstar manager. I mean, look, we can speculate, but somebody like Zidane or that sort of name who is electric around the world. I mean, Ruben Amorim, great guy, nice guy, all that stuff, but he's not Zidane. He's not this stellar name. I think they'd have put the money in and got the stellar names.
Kaveh, look at this, the share price. Big dips when Sir Alex went and when Ineos took over. Should that send a shiver down Manchester United fans' spines?
Well, I think the bottom line there is if you'd bought Manchester United shares when the Glazer family floated some of the shares they owned on the New York Stock Exchange, I think back in 2012, it's not a very good investment because they floated around $14 a share, and at the moment they're around $15 a share. And the spikes you see, those are when the Qataris were involved in bidding to buy the club and the share price almost doubled. But apart from that, it hasn't really been a great investment. What is interesting, if you look at what's happened at Manchester United since the Glazers bought the club 20 years ago, they bought a debt-free club, and they bought the club in a very, very controversial leveraged buyout. They placed a debt of £604 million on the club, which was debt-free. Yeah. That gross financial debt is now £742 million, 20 years later. And the total interest that Manchester United have paid on that debt is £852 million. United's gross financial debt at the moment is £742 million, plus the transfer debt, £447 million, gives you a total gross debt of £1.2 billion. This was a club that was debt-free before the Glazers arrived. The Glazers have also made at least £1 billion from floating back in 2012 and also selling some of their shares to Ineos. Being owned by the Glazers has also cost Manchester United over £1 billion.